Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my Loverlies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so happy you found me. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned, and definitely when that makeup is cheap. Today is New Makeup Monday, and we have so much fun stuff to talk about today. This one's a really, really good one. I do already have my makeup done, and it is because I wanted to come on here and I wanted to have a solid opinion about everything that we're going to talk about, and I do. If you guys are wondering what this gorgeous 90s grunge kind of look on my face is, I used one of the products in today's video. We're going to get there. It's amazing. But I did do a TikTok on today's look. If you are interested, I will have the links for all of my other socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff in the description box below, along with all the products that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. I post fun content every single day, and if you're not following me everywhere, why not? You guys definitely don't want to miss a single second of any of it. Before we get into today's video, I want to address the stain on my shirt. Y'all, I picked up these tank tops the other day when I was at Walmart. They're like $6 a piece. They're super cheap, but they're really comfortable and I love the colors. If you learn nothing from me, please hear this. Do not do your makeup in good clothing. If you're anything like me, you're going to end up spilling, dripping, what have you, because my hands go dead continuously and I'm forever spilling things all over myself. That is why in 90% of my videos, I'm in, ratty old tank tops, and it's because they're already stained and, makeup has already sullied the pristine whiteness of most of them, and they're relegated to being makeup tank tops. This one is now a makeup tank top. I ended up getting foundation all over my collar. I spilled primer all over, y'all, and I really liked this color too. I love this kind of periwinkle blue purple. So pretty. But now it's a makeup tank top. I don't care if you gotta sit there and you gotta do your makeup buck naked. Don't ruin your good shirts. You pay so much good money for nice blouses, and then you sit down to do your makeup in them one time and they're destroyed, because makeup is impossible to get out of clothing. If you guys know how to get foundation out of a white towel or out of a t-shirt, please let me know. I feel like I've tried everything and nothing works. So, New Makeup Monday. We have so much good stuff to talk about. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is what I have on my eyes today. I'm so excited. If you guys didn't know, we probably don't know because I don't talk about it very often, but I love cheesy horror films. I love Bride of Chucky, any of the like later Chucky movies, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, all of those. They're like some of my very favorite, they are my very favorite horror movies of all time. I just love them so very much. Bride of Chucky is my very favorite, like, kind of cheesy horror movie of all time. I just love it so very much. So when Glamlite decided that they were going to come out with a Bride of Chucky palette for Valentine's Day, I lost my ever-loving mind. And you guys know I am a bargain queen. I'm a drugstore queen, and I don't very often spend full price on anything, and that goes for all aspects of my life. But when this came out, I literally couldn't help myself. This is just absolutely the cutest thing. I loved the packaging. I loved everything about the campaign. I just thought it was so, it just kind of hit me in the soft spot in my heart, and I couldn't say no to it. So I ordered the palette. They came out with a whole collection. There were eyeliner kits and lipstick kits and a palette and a mirror and blushes. And I couldn't afford it all because this wasn't a super affordable collection from Glamlite. The palette was $34 in and of itself. So I was like, that's about as far as I'm going to have to let myself go. But I did pick it up. And it came with this. I'm going to keep this for absolutely forever. I think it is so cute. There's just something about Tiffany and Chucky that just gets me. I just love them so very much. So this came with the palette. And then for the actual palette, this is the unicorn. It's so cute. I tried to like channel my inner Tiffany today with the eye look and the lip combo. It's like so 90s and so Tiffany, and I love it so very much. So this is what the unicorn looks like. It is absolutely adorable. I will be keeping this outer unicorn. And then you have the actual palette, and it is one of those images that kind of moves if you tilt it. So you have this one, and then you tilt it back and it says crazy and love, and then you tilt it back. Oh, it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. $34 is, again, expensive for a palette, especially for me. On the grand scheme of things, $34 isn't that awful much, but I usually don't like to spend more than 10 bucks on a palette. So I spent 3 times my normal budget, but I just had to have it. I absolutely had to. So this is what the front packaging looks like. It is absolutely adorable. Oh, I just can't get over it. So cute. And then you open it up, you get a nice full-sized mirror, and this is your color story. Now, it is pretty classic Glamlite packaging. It's cardboard, but it feels nice, it feels sturdy, it feels well made. It's a really beautiful palette, but this is your color story, and very appropriate for Chucky, the Bride of Chucky, things like that. This is very much the color story of those movies. Everything is kind of dark and kind of grungy and a little bit dirty. So this fits absolutely perfectly. I did use this palette for my eye look today. I'll give you guys a close-up really quickly. I love it. It was super easy to do. The Glamlite formulas are insane, I will say. The shimmers in here are really beautiful. They're very glittery as well. And I did experience quite a bit of glitter fallout while using specifically this one. So I would advise you to use a glitter glue when going in with these, just because there is quite a bit of fallout. And if you don't want to use a glitter glue, I would definitely go in and do your eyes first, and then go in and do your base makeup, because you will get glitter absolutely everywhere. But I really want to swatch a couple of these shimmers because they're so pretty. This one in particular, the shade Wanna Play, is an absolutely gorgeous silver. Very glittery, very reflective, super pretty. I have this on the inner portion of my eye today. So pretty. Like I said, it's very glittery, and there is quite a bit of fallout with this shade, so you definitely, if you want to keep that intensity, I'm definitely going to go ahead and advise using a glitter glue. I just think that this formula is going to benefit a lot from that, and especially if you want it to stick around on the eyes, because it is a little bit fallouty, and it does have the potential to fade throughout the day. Definitely use a glitter glue, but it is super pretty. One of my favorite things about the Glamlite glitter or shimmer formulas is it's such a thin formula. It goes onto the eye, but it doesn't accentuate texture. It doesn't accentuate wrinkles, things like that. It just goes on. It picks up beautifully with a brush and a finger, and it's just really easy to use. So that's the shade Wanna Play. I also used the shade Issue 666. I have this on the center portion of my lid today. This is a really gorgeous kind of plummy, dark, deep wine color. I also used Your Pal Since 98, and this is just a really gorgeous, deep, metallic black. Very, again, very sparkly, very dimensional. All 3 of those are absolutely stunning. And then I went in with the shade Scarier Than Ever, which is this one right here. And I used this as my transition color for today. And as always, the Glamlite mattes are incredibly easy to work with. If you've never used a Glamlite palette, you guys, you don't know what you're missing. A lot of times, Glamlite will have really great sales, and you can get palettes for like 50% off. I definitely suggest you waiting for a sale to pick one up, but the Glamlite formulas are so good. On top of that, I heard that Glamlite is showing up at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. So if you ever come across them at a discount store, definitely jump on it. They're so good. Except I would stay away from the Hershey Kisses collection, because I heard that one was going hard panned, and like the oils were separating from the actual the oils were separating in the shimmers. So stay away from the Hershey Kisses collection, but everything else is holding up really well. Definitely go for it. I just think that there are a ton of really fun textures. If you are scared of deep dark shades, this is not the palette for you. And I will say that deep dark shades, they scare me too. I've been doing makeup for a really long time, and this palette I found to be incredibly intimidating. Not so much so that I didn't enjoy playing with it, but you kind of have to break it down, and you have to really kind of find, I like to start with my lightest shade, especially when I'm a little bit overwhelmed with how deep a palette is. I'll start with my lightest shade and I'll focus on creating a gradient, which is exactly what I did with today's eye look. I started with, what did I start with? I started with this shade right here, and then I went into this shade and kind of put that in my lower transition and just kind of created a gradient from there and went lightest to darkest. When you start out with your lightest shade and start adding the darkness in, it's not quite as overwhelming as just kind of putting black all over your lid and then trying to figure out where to go from there. So that's a nice tip for working with deep, dark kind of pigments. Start with your lightest shade and kind of build up your intensity from there. It's a lot easier to handle. So all in all, this is a really, really gorgeous palette. I am incredibly in love with it. I haven't even used all of the shimmers yet, but they're just that shade. What shade was that? That was the shade Chucky and Tiff Forever. This one looks really pretty. It's a really funky kind of shade. I want to say it's a mix between gray and plum. And that's pretty much the whole theme of the palette. It is a very plummy, very winey, very cool-toned gray, kind of murky, grungy palette. And there definitely is nothing quite like this in my collection, so I'm not unhappy that I purchased it at all. It's a really beautiful palette, but it can be just a little bit overwhelming. I think it's beautiful though. I'm so happy with it. Standard, like I said, standard Glamlite formula. Really great, really easy to work with. But I would say definitely use a glitter glue if you're going to go in with the shimmers. This was so cute. The only other thing from the collection that I really wanted was the mirror. But it was expensive, and I have mirrors and I didn't need another one. But it was so cute. If you guys got anything from this collection, I would love to know what you picked up and how you feel about it. If you used anything other than the palette, how was it? I tried not to watch any reviews of this collection because I really wanted to experience it for myself first. But I'm so happy with it. It's beautiful. Very stunning. I also want to talk about a couple of other things. I had a couple of requests to do a contouring tutorial. I did film that today. That will be up sometime this week. Of course, I'll have the links down in the description box. But I've been playing with different kind of contour products, and not too long ago, Milani released some liquid contours. Now, I don't really think that these are contours so much as they're liquid bronzers, but these are the Conceal and Perfect liquid contours. They're pretty much in the same packaging as their like the under eye brighteners and things like that. These are really nice. So I have shades 1, 2, and 3. Shade number 1 is the shade Honey. And this one is a straight up bronzer on my skin. It's not deep enough to be a contour, but it has got a lot of warmth to it. When you blend it out, and it does blend beautifully and easily and effortlessly, but when you blend it out, you can definitely see there's a little bit of a neutrality to it, but it's definitely on the warmer side. So this is a gorgeous bronzer, liquid bronzer on my skin, but it's not deep enough to really shape my face. So then I go in with this shade number 2, Ginger. And this one is really nice as well. This one has just a little bit more kind of depth to it. I just squeezed out way more. They are super messy, by the way, though. So if you guys are kind of anal about keeping your makeup clean, these probably are not the ones for you. They do have a sponge tip applicator, very much like the Maybelline Age Rewind concealers. Same kind of premise. The sponge tip applicator can get really messy. But this is shade number 2. This is the shade Honey or Ginger. The shade Ginger. This one, again, it's got a really beautiful, very neutral kind of undertone to it. But once you blend it out, it does turn pretty warm. But this one I like a lot more to contour with because I get that little bit of life and that little bit of warmth that it adds to my face, but it's also deep enough to really create a shadow on my skin, which is what I'm really looking for when I'm trying to contour. But these are a really great product. Now, usually what I will do is I will go in with the shade Ginger, shade number 2, and I'll put that around the outsides of my face, so along my cheekbones, around my forehead. I'll use it around my nose as well. I'll blend that out, and again, it blends really beautifully and super easily. And then I'll go in with shade number 3. And shade number 3 is called Toffee, and it is a perfect deep dark kind of contour color for my skin tone. And when I contour my face, because I have such a wide, round, very round kind of chubby face, I really like to go hard when I create the shadows on my face. And probably people would say this is a little bit deep for my skin tone, but I'm wearing it today and I think it looks absolutely stunning. It ends up, once you blend it out, it ends up looking really beautiful and super natural. This is the shade Ginger, and it is really deep, but they blend out and they sheer out quite a bit as well. So that's shade number 3. I want to compare it to shade number 2 really quick so you can see the difference. So shade number 3 and shade number 2. And once you blend them out, there's just a teeny tiny little step between the two of them. They almost look identical, but the shade Toffee has just a little bit of a deeper kind of more red undertone, which works perfectly with my super pink skin. So it goes on and it mixes with shade number 2 to create a really believable kind of gradient and depth to my face that doesn't look gray at all. It doesn't look gray. It doesn't look dead. It just brings an incredible amount of life and warmth to my face. It ends up looking like I just got back from like a Tahitian vacation, and it just looks really pretty. I love the way that they blend out. They blend out beautifully with both a sponge and a brush. I prefer to blend it out and kind of stipple it out with a brush first, and then take my sponge and go around the edges just to really make sure that it's blended to the best of my ability. But they're a little bit expensive. I think they're $10.99 a piece, so they're $11 a tube, which again is pretty expensive. I can pick up the Creme Shop off of Amazon. The Creme Shop has a really gorgeous contouring palette, and it is like $8. You get 3 different contour shades. They're all beautiful. They blend effortlessly. So if you're looking for more of a cream contour, I definitely suggest the Creme Shop over this. But if you want something that's definitely warmer and is going to bring life and bronziness to your face, this is a really great. You definitely don't need to pick up all 3 shades. Just pick whatever you think is going to work for you. But these are so good. I've just been kind of playing with them. I got all 3 shades because I really just didn't know which one was going to work for me. In all, I think the shade 1, Honey, is just a little bit light for me. It doesn't really do enough on my skin, just because when you blend them out, they do sheer out quite a bit, and it just doesn't really show up enough for me to really make a difference for me. So if I were to repurchase, I definitely would repurchase shade number 2 and shade number 3. You really don't need to have both of them because, like I said, 2 and 3 are so close. You probably could get away with just shade number 2 and just kind of building it up to get a little bit more depth, and it would definitely work for you that way. But either way, these are fantastic. At $11 a piece, it's not awful. When I think of my NYX contour sticks, the NYX Wonder Stick, I think it's like $12 for that, and you only get to use half of the product. So this is a better deal. You get quite a good amount of product in here. A little bit goes a very long way, so this will probably last you absolutely forever. It's a really great product. I like it is a little bit warmer, so it's more of like a bronzer kind of thing. It reminds me very much, like the tone reminds me very much of the Huda Beauty Tantour. Very much the same thing. But if you're looking for like straight up cream contour, you want something that's definitely cool toned and that's really going to hollow out your face, I would go for the Creme Shop cream contour palette. You can get that on Amazon for $8. Really great. The next thing I want to talk about is this primer, and I've been using this primer for I want to say a couple weeks now. I really wanted to get a good read on it before I came on here, started singing its praises, and just ended up was like, oh, it's not really worth it. This is so good. This is the Essence Hello Good Stuff Glow Serum Primer. I'm actually wearing this today. This is definitely for my dry skinned ladies. If you are, especially in the winter, And even going into spring, I find that when the air pressure changes, my skin just goes haywire. It ends up getting super dry, and I get really flaky dry patches, especially around my nose. And you know, moisture is always a good thing, whether you have dry skin or not. But this is absolutely stunning. So this is a really lightweight serum primer. It very much feels like a moisturizer, but it absorbs incredibly quickly. It smells delicious. It smells super fruity, and like watermelon. I think this is supposed to be a dupe for the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Glow Drops, the watermelon glow drops. Supposed to be a dupe for that. Now, I've never tried them, so I can't really tell you if it's a good dupe or not, but what I can tell you is this feels amazing on my skin. It goes on, it absorbs quickly, but it leaves behind, it makes your skin so glowy and dewy. It leaves your skin just a little bit tacky and very much ready for foundation application. It really grips onto the foundation, and I have a hard time getting makeup to stick to my nose, especially when it's dry like it is right now. So I find that a primer that goes on and leaves just a little bit of a tack really, really helps the application of foundation, especially to like my nose, the center of my face. This really, really helps. It just feels so gorgeous on the skin. It is not super expensive either. I want to say it's around $8 or $9. I got this off of Ulta. Absolutely worth it. If you like to use a moisturizing primer, this is definitely something I would look into. I don't think it's overly expensive, and the entire experience of using it, you get that fresh kind of summery fruity scent. It goes on, it just feels really luxurious on the skin. It's a really, really nice primer. If you're into primers and if you're into moisturizing primers, this is a really, really good one. The next thing I want to talk about is this thing right here. And I went to my Walmart the other day, and they had a bunch of new Physicians Formula products. I don't necessarily think that this is new, but I had never seen it at my Walmart before, so I picked it up. The only thing about Physicians Formula products is I think they're overpriced. I think that the packaging tends to be pretty bulky. It's nice, but it's bulky, and they kind of do too much sometimes. But this is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Brick. This is in the shade Warm Nude. And basically what it is it's eyeshadow, it's face powder, it's blush, it's bronzer. It's just about anything you need it to be. I find that if I use the middle portion right here, it's a really gorgeous kind of luminous blush. I haven't really used it as a bronzer yet, but I prefer more of a matte-ish kind of bronzer. So I've only used it as highlight and blush topper, but when I tell you it is so super pretty, I use these two rows right here, and it ends up being a really, really pretty kind of pinky highlight. So pretty. And then I use these two rows right here, and it ends up being a really gorgeous kind of glowy pinky blush topper. Super, super pretty. You can definitely see there's a difference in tone there. Super pretty. It says you can also use these as eyeshadow. Now, I did try to use them as eyeshadow. I wasn't super impressed. As a brow bone or inner corner highlight, they're all right, but nothing super spectacular or super, super special. When it comes to eyeshadow, I really like quite a reflective scene from outer space kind of finish, and this just isn't going to give that to you. But on the brow bone and inner corner, it does look super, super pretty. And then if you use it as a highlight, I'm just going to take my highlight brush and go through here and just put a touch of it right on the very top part of my cheekbone, and it is really beautiful. It's not texture enhancing. It just goes on and it's super, super smoothing, and it is very natural looking. Again, it's not super blinding in any way, but it just goes on and it gives you such a gorgeous kind of lit from within glow. Like I said, this is overpriced. I did purchase it, so I did want to mention it. If you're into Physicians Formula, this is a good one. If you like multi-purpose products, like I said, you can use it as eyeshadow, you can use it as a blush topper, and you can use it as a highlight. If you're looking for a really beautiful, subtle, lit from within kind of glow, I would recommend the Glow Within highlight from Shop Miss A. It is one of my very, very favorite highlighters of all time. It is fantastic. It's I think it's $1.55 from Shop Miss A. And it comes in a few different colors. It's really, really good. You definitely will not regret that purchase. So you get the palette on one side, and then it opens up from the bottom, and it also comes with like this little brush. It's like a foam tip applicator, and then also comes with a brush, like a hairbrush, and you get your little mirror. So again, the packaging is not bad at all. If you like multiple, like multi-use kind of palettes, and you just want something that's super simple, you can just kind of grab it and go. This is a really great, great palette. Also, Physicians Formula is known for using more clean ingredients. That stuff doesn't really bother me very much, but if you're into clean beauty or cleaner beauty, this is a really, really great one. And I purchased it. I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad about the purchase. I didn't take it back. I do like it enough to keep it in my collection, but it's not something that I would ever go pick up again. The next thing I want to talk about is this stuff right here. So this is the Lottie London Ready, Set, Go powder. And I had heard, who did I hear talking about this? One of the YouTubers that I watch continuously. Who was it that spoke about this? I don't remember. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description box. But she had said that this powder was really, really fantastic. And I had never even thought to, you know, get the Lottie London powder. When it comes to Lottie London, the powder is really not the first thing that comes to mind. And it just didn't really look super impressive. It didn't really pull me in. So I just kind of ignored it. I do enjoy the Lottie London eyeliners. I enjoy their lip products are fantastic. Their eyeshadows for the most part are pretty good. But Lottie London is not one of those brands that I really think of powder first off. But y'all, I am so glad that I listened. I am so glad that I picked this up because I have this powder on my face today. It is gorgeous. This is the Ready, Set, Go Loose Setting Powder in the shade True Translucent. It is such a gorgeous powder. It goes on. I've tried it with multiple different foundations. I've tried it with multiple different concealers. I've tried multiple different application methods. I've used both a brush, a damp beauties blender, and a powder puff to apply it. In all three instances, it goes on and it just looks pretty. I wouldn't say it's a super smoothing powder, but it doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It looks beautiful under the eyes. It looks beautiful around the face. And a lot of times I stick to pressed powders because I find that loose powders just end up being way too heavy on my skin. I end up over applying, and it usually just doesn't end well for me. But y'all, when I tell you this powder is so fantastic, it is beautifully finely milled. It feels like literal silk between the fingers. You can tell how light and airy it is just by touching it. It is a true translucent powder. I do find that it has just a little bit of a brightening effect. It doesn't turn you white, make you look like a ghost, but it does kind of brighten just a little bit. So be aware of that there is just a little bit of pigment here, but I enjoy a little bit of pigment. Usually I'll use a powder foundation to set my under eyes and my face because I appreciate that brightening effect. So this is perfect. Guys, it just goes on and it does everything that you want a good powder to do. It is so lightweight and so gorgeous on the skin. I really didn't think that I was going to like it anywhere near as much as I do, but I already went and bought backups. That's how much I enjoy this powder. And I've been using it for days. It looks beautiful on my under eyes. It doesn't emphasize any dryness. And I've had this makeup on for... It is 8:49. I've had this makeup on for, I want to say, 5 hours at this point, and it looks fantastic. The corners of my mouth don't look gross and kind of cakey and crepey. And under my eyes is really just what I'm having the most kind of, I'm in love with the most because it just looks so great. A lot of times my under eyes are so dry, and any kind of powder, no matter how good it is, will eventually suck the life out of the skin there. But this just looks so pretty for the longest time. And it's really easy to just kind of, if you get any creasing or anything, it's really easy to just kind of tap out or add just a little bit more powder. And it really just goes on and fixes everything up. It's a beautiful, beautiful powder. I guarantee you it is going to be in my best of 2023. That is how much I love this powder. And powders are so hard for me because my skin is so dry. It is so good. I love this so much. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about these. So you guys know, if you have been here for any amount of time, you will know that I have a serious lipstick addiction. The lipstick that I'm wearing today is a really old one that I picked up from Badoya Beauty. I don't even remember the shade name of this, but if you guys know who Isabel Badoya is, she's an influencer. I haven't seen or heard anything from her in a while, so I don't know if she's still influencing or not, but she had come out with a beauty brand at Walmart, and it was only there for, I want to say, maybe a month, 2 months, and then it just kind of disappeared. But I picked up this lipstick, and it is the most gorgeous. It's like the most gorgeous kind of deep, dark, plummy color. Oh, it's stunning. It is definitely a 90s kind of shade. Very deep, very vampy, very dark. But I have an insane lipstick addiction. I love lipstick. And when I saw these at my local Walmart, I lost my mind and I definitely had to pick a few of them up. These are $8 a piece. And these are the NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Creams. And these are phenomenal. My favorite shade so far is the shade Kitty Belly. And it is the most beautiful terracotta orange. It goes on. It's just stunning. They feel beautiful on the lips. They are definitely matte, but they're not like a drying, cakey, cracky kind of matte. They just go on and it feels, they're so cushiony. They're cushiony and they're velvety. They don't dry down. Not completely. They're not like a matte liquid lipstick, but they go on and they feel so plush and so cushiony on the lips. And they do dry down just a little bit. So they are smear resistant. They're not transfer proof, but they do kind of dry down just a little bit. I didn't have any problems with it migrating on me. It kind of like sits down on the lips and kind of stays put. This is a beautiful formula. It almost makes your lips look like velvet. Excuse me. It makes your lips look like velvet. They're just so pretty. And they're kind of unique. They remind me a lot of the Powder Puff Lippies, only these don't have that kind of powdery dry down. They've got more of like a velveteen, super plushy kind of like, oh, I just can't even explain it to you other than it is so good. And I love the colors. So this color, Kitty Belly, is my absolute favorite. It's a really gorgeous kind of peachy terracotta color. Then you have the shade Pancake Stacks, and this one is absolutely stunning as well. This one is a nude, but it's more of a brownie kind of, that one. Oh, it's still really beautiful. It's kind of neutral, but leaning a little bit warm. It is a perfect everyday kind of nude for me. I like a little bit of a darker lip though. This with a dark brown lip liner is my 90s fantasy. I wear a 90s lip every single time I do my makeup though. It's just my thing. I like a dark lip liner and a little bit of a lighter brown lip, but this is just absolutely perfect. It is a perfect everyday nude for me. Love it so much. Then we have the shade Cheeks, and this one, I can't. This one is a really gorgeous kind of peachy tone. It's kind of like a peachy pink color, but super pretty. This one, again, is going to be a staple for everyday wear for me. I love that. And I wear, like, peachy, terracotta-y blushes continuously. I love a beautiful orange blush. It just makes me very happy. And this just goes perfectly with just about every orange blush that I've got. The color is so pretty. It is so perfect for everyday wear. And again, they're just so freaking comfy on the lips. They're just easy to wear. And then these two colors right here. These two colors just are my absolute everything. They look stunning together. So this first shade, this is the shade Bday Frosting, and this is the most gorgeous kind of magenta, purpley, pinky magenta. It's absolutely stunning. That color is absolutely everything. And on top of that, I tried to use these as blushes and they work beautifully as blushes as well. I use the NYX Powder Puff Lippies as blushes. I actually prefer them more as blushes than I do lipsticks. I really don't like the way that they feel on my mouth, but they look stunning on the cheeks. And these ones look really beautiful as blushes as well. And the colors are so pretty. So this was Bday Frosting. And then last but not least, we have Pillow Fight, and this one is just a really gorgeous fuchsia. It is straight up fuchsia. It is fun. It is bright. It is bold. It is my kind of pink, and it makes me so, so very happy. So we have 3 really gorgeous nudes, and then we have 2 super fun bright pops of color. These are fantastic. They're beautiful as lipsticks. They're beautiful as blushes. I just think this formula is really, really versatile, and they go beautifully over powder because it's got more of that powdery kind of dry down to it, more of that velveteen kind of dry down. It plays well with other products. It plays well over powder. Even if you just wanted to take, let's take a little bit of cheeks. Let's take just a little bit of it and pat just a little bit on. I'm just going to do a few dots, and then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just kind of blend that out. They blend out really, really easily. And then they just give you that really beautiful little bit of color. I don't know if it's going to show up over top of everything I've already got going on, but it blends beautifully over powder. I have a fully set face. It blends beautifully over powder. It didn't pick up any of my product. They're just really, really great. It's a really fun makeup formula to play with, and things when you can experiment with your makeup and just have fun with your makeup. That's what makes makeup so special, right? That's what, you're like a makeup scientist. That's how I feel about it anyway. I love taking something and really trying to make it work for as many situations as I possibly can. And when it comes to NYX lippies, especially the ones that have that kind of powdery dry down, they're just so much fun. They're just so much fun to play with. Guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that I was able to help you in some small way. I hope I was able to show you something new and fun and exciting. As always, I'll have everything listed in the description box below. No filters, no edits, no fancy lighting. It's just me sitting in front of my camera playing with some makeup, hoping you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. And until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Bye.